All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's 2 p.m. We're going to go ahead and get started. This is the state expedited accusations calendar in the state court of Fulton. I am Judge Melanie Williams, and today we will address misdemeanor bonds for those individuals who've been recently arrested, but the cases have already been formally accused and bound over to state court. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney today. This proceeding is being broadcast over the internet as a live stream. It's also being recorded. That means any member of the public can log on and watch this. Um, those who receive a signature bond, whether through the jail or pre-trial, will be reset for the notice. Those who receive a surety bond will be reset to state on purpose. Ms. Bridgewater, what is my reset date?
May 16th.
That will be the reset date, May 16th, whereby cases and certain aspects of the bond or the case itself may be revisited. Have all defense attorneys had the opportunity to interview their clients?
I do have a Spanish client who needs interpreter.
All right. Is the interpreter on the line?
I am interpreter. I'm the Farsi interpreter for Mr. Adib Jabari.
Okay. Are we going to have Spanish interpretation today?
That was the assumption that I had, but I don't see one yet.
All right, let's ask, let's see, Miss Holly, if possible, will you see if we're gonna have Spanish interpretation? Who represents the defendant that needs the Farsi interpreter? Is that you, Miss?
I was able to interview him.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, who do we have first?
First, we have position number 3, Ms. Easley.
All right, Miss Easley, your case is 24 CR 002694B. You're charged with simple battery and criminal trespass. You understand, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard, can I have the history, please?
Second, 2017 battery DV dismissed. Jail is a recommendation.
All right, Mr. Graham, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place on March 10, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a dispute call at 220 Fireside Way in Fairburn. Sheandra easily grabbed Tony Pratt by his shirt. She slung him against the television, causing damage to it, before pushing him to the floor, causing him to fall on his stomach. He had recently had surgery in that area. Our office has been in touch with Mr. Pratt. He tells us that the two are in a relationship. They do not live together. They share no children. The incident location is his residence. He confirmed the events in the warrant, stated he only called the police to help with the TV, that he did not want the Miss Easley arrested. He said this is not the first time that she's been violent towards him. They had a case in Clinton County a few years ago. He's not in fear of her, wants to continue contact. That she may benefit from some anger management classes. He's okay with her returning to his residence, and he may be on Zoom this afternoon. Your Honor, based on, so that 2017 battery from the violence arrest also had 3 other charges, a battery charge and 2 simple battery family violence charges. I know the defendant is okay with contact. However, the state is concerned, Your Honor. We're recommending a signature bond through pretrial services, a 1-day anger awareness. At this time, we're going to ask for no further contact with Tony Pratt, a stay away from his residence at 220 Fireside Way in Fairburn, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And of course, we like the sound for Mr. Pratt at this time, Your Honor.
All right, is Mr. Pratt present and wishes to make a statement? Sounding for Mr. Pratt. Hearing, seeing none. Can we please go to Mr. Cook? Is this your client?
Yes, Your Honor. My client firmly denies the allegations. Mr. Pratt was the aggressor in this case, and my client began to call 911, thought better of it, and just left the residence. It is true that they do not live together. They have had a relationship for a number of years. My client is 52 years old. She has lived in Georgia her entire life. She has been a nurse for 27 years. I think if she had significant problems with anger management, something would have come from those stressful endeavors. We would object to any anger management course. She has no problem with further contact, but if he wants no further contact, that's fine. But we would be seeking a signature bond through the jail as pretrial has recommended.
All right, defendant will receive a $2,500 signature bond through the jail, 2,000 on count 1, 500 on count 2. For now, she's to have no contact with Mr. Pratt. That contact provision can be revisited at a later date. Additionally, she's to have no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons as a condition of that SOB through the jail. Is there anything additional?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, Ms. Easley. Can we take the case next that requires the Farsi interpretation?
Sure. He was actually up next, Mr. Jabari.
All right, Madam Interpreter, will you please raise your right hand so I can swear you in? Please state your name for the record first.
Behnaz Ofo.
All right, Ms. Ofo, do you swear and affirm that today you will make an accurate translation from English to English to Farsi, Farsi to English to the best of your skills, knowledge, and abilities?
I do.
All right. Mr. Howard, can I please, I'm gonna actually give him his rights. Let me apologize. Mr. Jabari, your case is 24 CR 002683C.
سلام، من فرح هستم، مترجم شما برای امروز هستم و شماره کیس شما هستش 24 CR 002683C.
In this case, you're charged of theft of service with the offense date of April the 4th.
شما امروز توی دادگاه هستیم برای اتفاقی که برای 4 اپریل افتاده.
You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
شما میتونید ساکت باشید. اگر هر چیزی بگین امکان داره در دادگاه بشه به ضرر خودتون.
You have a right to an attorney and Mr. Tai is present to assist you today.
شما میتونید وکیل داشته باشید و امروز مستر شما رو داره توی دادگاه برای شما هستش وکیلتون.
As you can see, I'm conducting this hearing over the internet as a live stream.
این جلسه دادگاه داره همه جا پخش میشه و عمومی هستش.
That means any member of the public can log on and watch this.
یعنی هر کسی میتونه الان بیاد و این جلسه رو ببینه.
Do you understand your rights and how I'm conducting the hearing?
شما متوجه شدید که چه چیزایی اتفاق میفته امروز؟ Yes.
All right. Mr. Howard has told me that it's first on my paper, so we'll go straight to Mr. Graham.
Thank you, Your Honor. The incident took place on April 4th, 2024. Adib Jabari went to the Pandora Nails and Spa with his girlfriend to get her nails done.
شما 4 اپریل امسال 2024 با دوست دخترتون رفته بودید سالونی که کار ناخن انجام بدید. Yes.
The name of the salon is Pandora Nails and Spa. It's located 1475 Holcomb Bridge Road, Unit 179 in Roswell.
اسم جایی که رفته از پندورا هستش و آدرسش هم توی هولکوم بریج رازول رود هست. رازول جورجیا هستش. Yes.
On April 16th, law enforcement responded to that location on a theft of services call.
16 اپریل به پلیس تلفن زده شده که به مکانی که شما سرویس رو انجام دادین بیان.
Upon arrival, the spa manager, Luan, Luan, Ly, advised that Mr. Jabari's girlfriend received manicure, pedicure, and eyebrow waxing services in the amounts of $118.
منیجر اسپا مستر لین گفتش به پلیس که دوست دختر شما ناخونش رو انجام داد و ابروهاش رو گرفته و شما $118 برای سرویسش بهش بدهکارید.
When he received the bill, Mr. Jabari advised he did not have money to pay, would return the next day.
وقتی که به شما گفتن شما گفتین پول همراهتون نیست و فردا براشون میارید.
When he didn't show up, Mr. Lai contacted him via text message. A series of messages indicate that Mr. Lai would accept payment anytime before April 16th before contacting law enforcement.
به شما مسیج دادش، بهتون زنگ زدش و بهتون گفتش تا اگر 16 اپریل پولشو ندین با پلیس تماس میگیره.
Mr. Jabari responded by saying, okay, it's fine, but really, I don't have any money right now.
شما بهشون جواب دادید بله حتما ولی من الان هیچ پولی ندارم.
Mr. Lai believes Mr. Jabari blocked his number. He has had no communication since.
شما تلفنشون رو بلاک کردی و از اون به بعد نمیتونید با شما تماس بگیره.
The warrant states that Mr. Jabari used to work next door at a restaurant, but has not worked there since August of 2023.
شما رستوران بغلیش کار میکردید ولی از آگوست 2023 دیگه اونجا کارم نمیکنید.
Your Honor, the state is requesting a signature bond through pretrial services, no contact with Luan Lai, stay away from the entire plaza at 1475 Holcomb Bridge Road, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
از درخواست میکنن که برای شما باید باند گذاشته بشه. شما نمیتونید دیگه با منیجر تماس بگیرید، اون منطقه هم نباید برید، مشروع و موادی هم در کار نبوده.
Mr. Tai?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 38 years old. He has been a Georgia resident for over 14 years.
شما الان 38 سالتون هستش و 14 ساله که دارین در جورجیا زندگی میکنید.
He is gainfully employed as a restaurant manager right now.
الان شما در یک رستوران به عنوان مدیر یا منیجر کار میکنید.
He does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant.
I'm sorry, can you repeat it?
He denies the allegations as stated in the warrant.
اوکی، شما قبول ندارید تهمتایی که بهتون زده شده.
And as you heard, he has no criminal history. This is his very first arrest.
تا الان شما هیچ سابقه ای ندارید و این اولین دستگیریتون هستش.
I would ask for a signature bond through the jail.
از دادگاه خواهش میکنم که برای شما ضمانت نامه بذارن.
And I don't object to the no further contact or stay away from this nail salon.
و اشکالی نداره که شما دیگه با اسپا تماس نگیرید و تو منطقه نباشید.
All right. Defendant is going to receive a $3,000 signature bond through the jail.
$3,000 باید شما ضمانت نامه بذارید.
Please have no contact with the alleged victim and stay away from that location.
با اونجا به هیچ وجه تماس نمیگیره و در اون منطقه هم دیگه نمیرید.
Have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition.
و نه مشروب و نه اسلحه و نه موادی این باید انجام بشه.
All right. Anything additional?
چیز دیگه لازم دارید؟
Nothing further.
All right. I believe that concludes this case. Best of luck to you, sir.
میگه که تموم شدش، کیستون بسته شد.
All right, Madam Interpreter,
Yes,
will you sound before you leave to make sure no one else needs your assistance?
Of course. کسی دیگه تو دادگاه احتیاج به ترجمه فارسی داره؟
Hearing none, you're free to go. Take care. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. You as well. خدا نگهدار.
All right, who do we have next?
We have position number 1, Mr. Ali Aluba.
Can we do that one last?
Sure. Okay. We'll do position number 15, Mr. Sullivan.
Okay, thank you. And any word on if we'll have interpretation today?
Your Honor, I was told that one has been requested, however, haven't heard anything.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Bridgewater. We'll hold for a moment.
Okay.
And Your Honor.
All right.
Your
Yes.
Honor, I'm asking for a breakout for position 1 and position 14 as a waiver.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Position 15, Mr. Sullivan. Your case is 24 CR 002684Y. You're charged with battery family violence. You understand, right?
Well,
All right, Mr. Howard?
You said Sullivan,
Yes.
first arrest, jail, the recommendation.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Walker, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, good afternoon. In this
Good
case, law
afternoon.
enforcement was dispatched to 804 Red Heart Lane in Milton, Georgia. They met with the victim, Ms. Kelly Burgo. She advised that her and her boyfriend were having a disagreement about him not being supportive. At that point, he did become violent with her. He did smack her phone out of her hand and grabbed it and threw her phone, causing it to break. He then grabbed her by the neck and pushed her into a wall. She was able to relocate to the garage where she was able to call police from her smartphone. The state is asking for a $2,500 surety bond and no contact with the victim. Stay away from the incident location. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. I do realize in this case, I'm sorry, I misspoke. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond, and I would sign for the victim, Ms. Kelly Burgos.
Okay, and what did you misspeak as to, Mr. Walker?
I was about to speak on the incident day, but maybe I don't know if I have the right case, so I'm gonna double check that.
The incident date was yesterday, is what we have.
Yes, so I
Okay.
had got to it. My case is confused. That's all.
Okay,
But,
all right, thank you. All right, I'm sounding for Ms. Virgo. If you'd like to make a statement, please raise your right hand.
I am here. I don't know how to
All
make
right.
a,
If you want to
Right.
make a statement, I said, please raise your right hand. I have to place you under oath. But you are not required to, oh, not the raise hand, okay, that's fine. Do you swear and affirm testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury?
yes.
All right, what would you like to tell me?
First of all, what he mentioned is not true. He never grabbed me by the neck. I was turning around, and we do have wood floors. I had socks, so I was turning around. I don't know if he was trying to get what I had in my hand away from me, or he was trying to just push me away from it, and I ended up falling. But he never grabbed me by the neck, and I don't know if it was a push or he was just trying to take away what
Oh,
I
wait,
had
hold on.
in my
I'm
hand.
sorry, Ms. Virgo, I don't mean to cut you off, but let me explain. What I'm most interested in today is not, you're gonna have another opportunity. Everybody who gets is charged with a misdemeanor offense is entitled to a bond. What I'm most concerned with today is whether you have concerns and fear for your safety and your thoughts about contact with the defendant. That is what I am most concerned with. So in light of that, what would you like to tell me? If you disagree with what Mr. Walker says, there'll be a later date to clarify that, okay?
Okay, no, he's never been violent. I'm not afraid of him. So I don't have any problems with him. Like this has never happened before. So I'm not afraid of him or anything. This has never happened before in any kind of violence.
Okay. I do appreciate you coming to court and making that statement. Thank you. Mr. Cook, is this your client? Oh, this is Ms. Kim.
Yes.
All right,
Miss-
Ms. Kim, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Sullivan is 40 years old, and Your Honor, they live together, and their names, both of them, are in the list, and they don't have a child together. Even though my client does not have any objection to stay away or no further contact, he strongly prefers to have a contact with her. He denies the allegation, and he is gainfully employed. He has actually his own trucking company. So after today, he will be represented by a private attorney. He graduated from high school, and I think UJR, the signature on bond through jail or pretrial is appropriate for him as recommended.
All right, thank you. Defendant is going to receive a $6,000 signature bond through pretrial services. I am going to require he take the 1-day anger awareness course. However, he's to have no further violent contact with the alleged victim, have no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons as a condition of that signature bond through pretrial per judge. Is there anything additional?
Nothing further from defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Sullivan. That concludes your case. Who do we have next?
We have a position number, I didn't write this one. Hold on, give me 1 second. You're doing pretty good. No, we'll just skip on. We'll go with position number 2, Mr. Coney.
All right, Mr. Coney, good afternoon. Your case is 24 CR 002681F. You're charged with loitering, prowling with the offense date of May the 1st. You understand your rights? All right, Mr. Howard.
Your Honor, this is my client, but it's also a companion case with a Mr. Kendrick, who is they were arrested at the same time for the same charge in the same place. I don't know that you can technically call that co-defendants on a loitering, but
Okay, we'll try to take that next.
Okay.
All right. All right. Mr. Howard.
8th arrest. We got an open theft by taking in Superior Court, 23 CP 219404. Open shoplifting in the cab, 2024 FTA. Possession of marijuana conviction, and a 2020 simple battery conviction.
All right, thank you. Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place on May 1st, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a loitering call at 200 North Avenue in Atlanta. It is known as the Birch Deck. It's a parking structure that's property of Georgia Tech. Upon arrival, the officers made contact with 2 men that were attempting to leave the area. They were wearing ski masks, hoodies, and rubber gloves. One of them was Tayon Coney. They were witnessed on surveillance camera pulling on the secure bicycles in the area and canvassing the 2nd and 3rd floor parking deck looking into vehicles. Neither of the 2 could dispel suspicions on why they were in the area. Neither of them are affiliated with Georgia Tech in any way. Your Honor, based on the history, the open cases, the state is recommending a $1,000 surety bond, a stay away from Georgia Tech property, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
Okay, Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 20 years old. He's been working at the varsity. That's why he's often in the area. He gets off late at the varsity, and there are times when he has to essentially time his bus and train routes to jive with the routes that are being run at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning when he's trying to get home to I believe he's in College Park or close by Southwest Atlanta. So that's why I was in the area. We would ask for a signature bond to whatever level the court deems appropriate. We would have no problem with any kind of stairway, but understanding that the varsity and this location are very, very close, and I'm not sure they're 200 yards apart, but we don't want him to lose his job.
All right. Defendant's gonna receive a $1,000 surety bond. He's to stay away from Georgia Tech. I believe that's possible. You can still access the varsity and stay away from that university. Have no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Nothing else, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Coney. Can we do Mr. Kendrick now?
Mr. Kendrick.
All right, Mr. Kendrick, your case is 24 CR 002690F. You're charged with loitering and prowling. You understand your rights? All right. Mr. Howard, can I have that history for Mr. Kendrick?
3rd arrest, 2022 theft by receiving, possession of a firearm during the commission, fleeing and officer obstruction, hit and run, driving wrong side of undivided street. That's 23 SC 186616. He should have went to felony earlier for a CWAC charge. 2016 burglary arrest.
Okay. All right. And I'm sorry, is this Mr. Graham's case as well? No?
No, this is my case, Your Honor. I'm Tracy Mokaka. Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon. Please proceed. My apologies.
No
I
worries.
am familiar with the facts, so if you'd like to, if there's something extra that you'd like to illuminate me with, of course, do that. Otherwise, your recommendation is sufficient.
I would just like to point out that the defendant was in possession of a loaded Glock 19, and neither the defendant or the co-defendant claimed ownership of the firearm. The state is recommending a $2,000 surety bond, stay away from the incident location, Georgia Tech, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while on bond.
All right, thank you. Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon. I would be asking for signature bond for my client. I believe I heard pretrial say that he has 3 previous arrests, but my understanding is that he has no convictions. Therefore, he is presumed innocent at this time with regard to any of these outstanding cases, Your Honor. He denies the allegations in the warrant.
All right.
He was also with someone else. We really don't know what exactly happened, Your Honor, why he was where he was, but it seems to me that at this time, based on his history, he should be given a signature bond because he has no convictions on his record. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Defendant will receive the same bond, $1,000 surety bond. Stay away from Georgia Tech, have no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons as a condition of that surety bond. And as a reminder, they'll be reset to the May 16th state all-purpose calendar. All right. Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case.
Excuse me, Your Honor. We have Mr. Miles here. He's not on the calendar, but we have his full card. He was on the full sheet.
Right, he was booked in after the cutoff time, and he's a bind over, so we don't do bind overs on this calendar. He goes to the state all-purpose calendar, so his hearing will not be today. He has a bond, and he'll be seen on SAP like all bind overs.
He doesn't get a first appearance, Mr. Walker?
He had a first appearance in municipal court, Your Honor. That's when he has a
okay.
bond already.
Okay, understood.
All right, so next we'll do position number 15.
Is everything all right?
Yes, we're fine. Come pick that up, dog. Come pick it up, Mr. Sullivan? Go pick it up, man. I'm sorry, we already did Sullivan. Mr. Gill?
I can't hear a thing.
I got time for this. Pick it up. Pick it up, put it in the garbage.
I'm not hearing anything either.
Position number 4, Mr. Gill.
4, okay.
Yes.
Okay, and everything is okay at courtroom 2? All right.
You're right. If witness want to testify, I have to ask for breakout room just in case they want to disclose MH sensitive issues.
Okay. This is a witness or the victim?
I don't know if there's any complaining witness are here to testify for him against.
Okay, we'll see. We'll just see how this goes. All right, Mr. Gill, your case is 24 CR 002695F. You're charged with reckless conduct, simple battery, family violence, criminal trespass, and damage to property and battery. Do you understand your rights? Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Mr. Howard?
I got second arrest, 2023 out of Maryland. Assault first degree, second degree, reckless endangerment. That was dismissed. He does have a TPO, but I think his dad might be the victim with that TPO.
Okay, understood. All right, Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Your Honor. The incident took place on April 30th, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a weapons call at 2258 Tenor Lane in Alpharetta. Upon arrival, Brianna Williams told the officer that a verbal argument with her brother, Jalen Gill, while they were driving, escalated into a dangerous situation when her brother walked back to the residence that they share with their mother and grandmother, wielding a knife at their mother, Cherry Stoney, and hitting their grandmother. The first name is spelled H-W-A Stoney, while she was attempting to restrain him. Miss Williams explained that her brother threatened to kill the family. He was holding a pocket knife before he left the vehicle. At that time, she called her mother and told her she should call the police. Once she was back at the residence, her mother advised her to leave due to issues that she and her brother have had in the past. She went to lock her bedroom door. By the time she came back, Mr. Gill was inside, pointing the knife at his mother, asking where his sister was. Miss Williams came back from her room. The two continued to argue. Mr. Gill was upset that she had called him a bum. Their grandmother, the elder Miss Stoney, tried to restrain Mr. Gill. He punched her to get her off of him. She advised that he made a comment to the effect of killing everyone, which made her very fearful. At that time, he left the residence and slashed two of the tires of Miss Williams's car. The officer did observe the two deflated tires. We spoke with Miss Brianna Williams. She did tell us that the two are siblings that do live together at that incident location, that he has been staying there for the past 2 months. She confirmed the events in the warrant, stated that he's lashed out in the past, but this was the first time it had gone to this extent. She has concerns for her safety as well as for her mother and grandmother. She doesn't want any contact and for him to stay away from the residence. We're unable to reach the mother, or the grandmother, Your Honor. But Ms. Williams says that she stated to her this morning that she also does not wish for Mr. Gill to return to the residence. Your Honor, I know the history is limited, but based on the facts of the incident and the statement of the witness and the victims, the state is requesting a $3,000 surety bond. That's $1,000 on each count. That's the civil battery, family violence, reckless conduct, and damage to property. The battery charge was NOD. We're also requesting an MHET, Your Honor, or at the very least a social worker visit. No further contact with either of the victims, the two Miss Stoneys or Brianna Williams, and stay away from the incident location at 2258 Tenor Lane, Alpharetta. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And of course, Your Honor, we can sound for either Brianna Williams, Cherry Stoney, or the elder Miss Stoney at this time.
Ms. Kim, is that who you were concerned about making the statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, is Ms. Williams present and wishes to make a statement? Is Ms. Stoney present and wishes to make a statement? Okay, we don't have any of those parties here, so Ms. Kim, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is only 20 years young, and he was going to college in Maryland, and he came to Georgia about March 15. He was born and raised here. However, he went to high school in Maryland, graduated there because playing football, and also went to college there. And he's taking a short break from the college. He is searching for a job. So right now he does not have any income, and apparently his mom and grandma and sister are all upset with him. So I don't know if there's anybody else who can bail him out. We would like to ask for signature on bond through a pretrial, whichever level you feel appropriate. I strongly think he should get the level 2 should be sufficient enough. He's recommended for pretrial level 2. And we would like to request for, we have no objection for no further contact, stay away. He just needs one-time law enforcement officer escort visit to retrieve his personal belongings.
All right. All right, at this time, defendant will receive a $1,500 surety bond, $500 on each count. He's to have no contact with the alleged victims and stay away from that incident location. He's to have no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons as a condition. Is there anything? And I am going to ask for a BHET. Is
Your
there
Honor,
anything?
which position was that was NOD?
The battery.
The battery. Okay, thank you.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. All right. Who do we have next?
I'm sorry, one other thing. Was that a good bond on each one?
It was.
Thank you.
We can go to the Spanish interpreted.
Is she on? Do we have Spanish interpretation? I don't think we do.
Oh, okay.
Well, we can go to position number 7, Mr. Trayvon Jackson.
All right, Mr. Jackson, your case is 24. Oh, is that 8? This is Trayvon Jackson. That's position 8, correct?
Hold on, let me check. Yes, this is position number 8.
Okay. Your case is 24 CR 002688A. You're charged with hit and run and unsafe vehicle equipment. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Howard, can I have the history?
First, jail's the recommendation.
All right. Ms. McCarthy, please proceed.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. On October 6th, 2023, officers were dispatched to a hit and run accident at Old Alabama Road and Jones Bridge Road in Fulton County. While en route, a call came in about a damaged and abandoned silver BMW. The silver BMW had disabling damage to the front driver's side tire. The wheel had been disconnected from the axle and was folded underneath the car. There were visible tire marks on Old Alabama Road that led from the crash scene to where the vehicle was abandoned. A witness heard the noise of the vehicle entering the neighborhood and also spoke with the defendant. The witness then called the police when the defendant proceeded to walk away. Another witness saw the defendant get into a blue Hyundai sedan. The officer ran the tag of the BMW, which was indeed licensed the defendant. And when the officer attempted to contact the defendant several times, he was unable to do so. The driver of the other vehicle that was involved in the crash stated that she was struck by a silver Volvo or BMW, and she was transported to Emory Hospital for her injuries. The state is recommending a $1,000 surety bond for the unsafe vehicle and a $2,000 surety bond for the hit and run. So a $3,000 surety bond in total, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol.
All right. Is this your client, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. In light of the information before me, I'm inclined to give your client a signature bond through the jail.
Thank you.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. Defendant will receive a $3,000 signature bond through the jail, $2,000 on count 1, $1,000 on count 2. He's to have no drugs, weapons, or alcohol as a condition.
Thank you.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case at this time. Who do we have next? And we're muted at courtroom 2.
Position number 9.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Kalawinski. I'm sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. Your case is 24 CR 002687J. Your case, in this case, you're charged with criminal trespass, simple assault, family violence, criminal trespass, disorderly conduct, and obstruction. Do you understand your rights?
I do.
All right. Mr. Howard, can I have the history?
12, open possession of a Schedule 4. It's 23 SC 189155 on probation and card for possession of a Schedule 4 controlled substance. Also on probation, possession of cocaine, 2023 probation, 2023 FTA, 2023 suspended license, and a 2019 simple battery conviction.
Okay, thank you. Ms. McCoy, please proceed.
At approximately 12:29, on April 30th, 2024, the police were dispatched to a report of an unlawful individual at the location 2391 Northwood Drive in Alpharetta. The defendant and the victim, Ms. Haley Brown, do share 2 children together. The defendant was found sitting in a U-Haul at the victim's residence. He stated that he was there to pick up items the victim stored in the garage for him. The victim and her mother, Sally Brown, stated that the defendant was not supposed to be there and never contacted them regarding picking up any items. It was also discovered that the defendant did not have a valid driver's license, and when asked how he had gotten the U-Haul to the home, he stated that his friend Tyler had dropped him off. It was later discovered there was no friend named Tyler and the defendant had driven himself. The police issued a criminal trespass warning and told the defendant not to return to the property or he would be under arrest. The defendant then left in an Uber. At 2:01 p.m. that same day, the officers were dispatched back to the property as the defendant had returned. Upon arrival, the victim stated to the officers that the defendant ran off into a wooded area behind the home. The victim stated that she saw the defendant walking through the wooded area between the houses, and he started running towards her and yelling at her. She proceeded to run into her house and close the door, where she recorded him yelling at her to move her car so that he could move the U-Haul truck. He tried to move the U-Haul around her vehicle, hit her vehicle, causing scratches to the passenger side. The victim has stated that she is terrified for her and her children. While the police were searching for the defendant, an Amy Nahai, who lives at 750 Ash Point Way, stated that the defendant jumped from behind her bushes, startled her, he was very sweaty, and then he asked her if she could help him with his U-Haul. She said no and proceeded to run inside her house. The police eventually found the defendant laying down in a ravine behind 510 Ash Point Circle after receiving a call from the owner of the property. The defendant was found laying in the ravine. His hand was tucked behind his waistband, and he refused to obey commands to remove his hand from behind his back. The officers tased the defendant and took him into custody. We have had an opportunity to speak to the victim, who states that her and the defendant are no longer in a relationship and they do not live together. They haven't lived together at the incident location for over 2 years. She did confirm the events in the warrant. She did tell us that they have a domestic violence history. In a previous case, I'm pretty sure it's that 2019 battery that he has. The case number is 19 CR 004393D. The victim said that she is in fear of the defendant, does not want any contact with him, and also doesn't want the defendant to contact their 2 children or go anywhere near their schools. So she wants the defendant to also stay away from the children's schools. The state is recommending a $1,000 surety bond for the simple assault, $500 surety bond for the criminal trespass, $1,000 surety bond for the criminal trespass that resulted in damage to the car, $500 for the disorderly conduct, and a $1,000 surety bond for the willful obstruction. So that is a total of $4,000 surety bond. No further contact with the victim, Haley Brown, Sally Brown, the victim's mother, or Amy Nahai. Stay away from the incident location, which is the home of the victim and also the home of Miss Amy Nahai and the home in which he was found behind the ravine of. Stay away from the children's school, 14865 Birmingham Highway, Milton, Georgia, and 03175 Cogburn, Cogburn Road in Milton, Georgia. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol. I believe one of the victims, Miss Haley Brown, is on the Zoom, so I would like to sound for her, as well as Miss Amy Nahai, if she is on the Zoom.
All right, Ms. Browning, if you're here and wish to make a statement, you are not required to. I would just need you to turn on your camera and raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and the same instructions, defendant is entitled to a bond today. This is a misdemeanor offense. What our most concerns are with today are any concerns you have for your safety, any desires for contact, et cetera, et cetera. What would you like to tell me, Ms. Brown, in light of those instructions?
I want no contact between me and him, no contact of me or him and his children. And just with his criminal record, I don't think he should be let out on bond.
All right. I appreciate you coming to court and making that statement. Mr. Cook, please proceed.
Your Honor, my client denies the allegations as stated in the warrant. I'm not sure that an accidental striking of a car when he was moving the U-Haul should even rise to a crime. But beyond that, he has no problem with no further contact with Miss Brown or stay away from the incident locations. These are his kids, and nothing has been stated that he is in a danger to his children, and he would like a third-party transfer to be able to see his children. Okay. He would also be seeking a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate.
All right. Defendant is gonna receive a bond as follows. It'll be $500 surety on the criminal trespass, 500 on the simple assault, 500 on the criminal trespass, 1,000 on the disorderly, and 500 on the obstruction. That should be a total of 3,000 if I did the math correctly. He is to have no contact with any of the alleged victims in this case and to stay away from the incident location. He can coordinate transfer of his children through a third party. Additionally, he's to have no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Just to clarify, Your Honor, does the stay away apply to the children's school or no?
No, I'm not going to issue that at this time.
Thank you.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case. Who do we have next?
We have position number 11, Mr. Jerome Kilgore.
All right, Mr. Kilgore, your case is 24 CR 002691A. You're charged with theft of mislaying property. Do you understand your rights? Hold one moment for me, please, everyone. One quick moment. All right, my apologies. Mr. Kilgore, your case is 24 CR 002691A. You're charged with theft of mislaying property. Do you understand your rights today? Is that a yes?
That's Mr. Kilgore you're speaking to.
Okay. All right. Mr. Howard, please proceed with the history.
21. Probation violations from 2019, 2020, 2021, 2023. 2017, simple battery obstruction, first offender, and 2 battery convictions from 2015.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Mokake, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident occurred May 1st, 2024 at 1 Margaret Mitchell Square, Atlanta. An officer was patrolling the Carnegie Way and Forsyth Street area when he observed the defendant emerging from a closed MARTA station. The defendant had a duffel bag on his shoulder, which he clutched to his body upon seeing the patrol vehicle. The officer called out to the defendant, and it was discovered that the defendant had inside the bag a pair of shoes that had recently been reported for theft from an automobile. The theft occurred less than a street from where the defendant was located. The victim, Joshua Shanty, identified the shoes belonged to him, and he also identified a white Super Bowl football inside the bag, and the Super Bowl football belonged to his son. The defendant stated that he did pick up the shoes and the football near a white truck and that he knew the items weren't his when he picked them up. The state is recommending a $1,000 surety bond, stay away from the incident location, no further contact with the victim, Joshua Shanty, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol. At this time, I'd like to sound for Mr. Shanty if he is on the Zoom.
Mr. Shanty, if you're present and would like to make a statement, this is your opportunity. Okay, hearing none. Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, my client is 38 years old. He makes a minimal living occasionally as a day laborer. He is currently living in a shelter on Peters Street. He would have no objection to the stay away or no contact. I don't think there would be any possibility of a contact with the alleged victim. But we would be seeking a signature bond through the jail or whatever level the judge deems appropriate.
All right. Defendant is going to receive a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim. Was a stay away requested? I don't think so. And he's to have no alcohol. There was a stay away requested?
Stay away from the incident location.
All right. Stay away from the incident location, have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. All right. Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case.
Thank you.
Next, we have position number 12, Mr. Mathis.
All right, Mr. Mathis, your case is 24 CR 002692J. You're charged with simple battery, family violence, and 2 counts of criminal trespass. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard, can I have the history?
Second, a resident of Columbus, 2024, open case for possession of marijuana.
Okay. Mr. Kake, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident occurred at 3378 Greenbrier Parkway Southwest. The defendant got into a physical dispute with the victims, Akayla Bennett and Lucretia Bennett. The defendant had become angry during a verbal disagreement where the victims had told the defendant to stop recording Akayla and her friends. He punched and pulled on the arm of Lucretia Bennett. When Akayla tried to intervene, he punched her in the head several times and punched her head into the wall, per the incident report. A small hole was identified in the wall by the officer. After striking Akayla, he threw her iPhone and caused the screen to crack. He punched another hole into the wall of the residence, broke the television, and also destroyed the blinds. The defendant dropped his phone in the process of all of this and couldn't find it, at which point he started to blame the victims. He went and obtained a butcher knife, cornered the victims, and demanded his phone. Lucretia at this point had picked up the phone and walked to the front door with it. The defendant followed with the knife and left the residence with the knife. The officers did not observe marks on the victims, but Lucretia did state that her right arm was sore, and Akayla stated that her head was hurting. Akayla did have a sew-in at the time, which it's possible that that is why they could not see any physical marks on her head. The defendant had lived with the victims in November of 2023, and he is the half-sibling of Miss Akayla. He is not related to Lucretia Bennett. The police were not able to locate the defendant at the time of the incident. We have had a chance to speak to both victims, Miss Lucretia Bennett, who is the mother of Akayla, and she confirmed the events in the warrant, stated that something like this hasn't happened before, that she had been allowing the defendant to stay at her residence. She stated that she hasn't seen or spoken to the defendant since this incident, and she wants no contact, and she does want him to stay away from the residence. We also spoke with Miss Akayla Bennett, and she stated that she did confirm the events of the warrant, confirmed the defendant did indeed break her phone. She hasn't spoken to him since the incident or seen him. She does want no contact and wants him to stay away from the residence. The state is requesting a $3,000 surety bond to stay away from the incident location, no further contact with both victims, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol. And at this point, I would like to sound for both victims, Miss Lucretia Bennett and Akayla Bennett.
Okay. Are either Ms. Bennett's present on the Zoom conference and wish to make a statement? All right, hearing none. Mr. Cook?
It's my client, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Ty, my apologies.
Okay, Your Honor, my client is an 18-year-old high school senior. He is graduating this month. I would say he has no criminal history. He was arrested April 27th for possession of marijuana, and he's actually been in custody since then, and was brought here for this warrant today or yesterday maybe. Other than that, he has no criminal history. He does deny the allegations. He firmly denies the allegations as stated in the warrant. I've spoken with his parents who are on the line. He, as I understand, he does need a parental co-signer. This incident allegedly occurred in January, so months ago. He does not need to have contact with the complaining witness, so no further contact with them. He has not been to their home, so a stay away is fine. Because of the very limited criminal history, Your Honor, I would ask for a signature bond through the jail. And of course, I don't object to that stay away and no further contact, and he'll have a parental co-signer if I need to give you the names.
All right, you can put the names in the chat. I'm going to give him a signature bond through pre-trial. I'm not going to send it through the jail. Defendant is going to receive a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services at level 1. He's to have no contact with any of the alleged victims. Stay away from that location. Have no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons. Is there anything additional?
Instead of 1,000 on each charge, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And we do need those names, Mr. Ty.
Okay, Your Honor, I just have to step over to the side to type it in.
Oh,
Okay.
this per justice.
All right. All right, who do we have next?
Next, we have position number 13, Mr. Montgomery.
Yes, cosign.
All right, Mr. Montgomery, your case is 24 CR 002686E. You're charged with simple battery family violence. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Howard, the history, please.
Montgomery, fifth arrest. Last arrest was April 25th, suspended license. 2020, suspended license, possession of marijuana, and a hold out of Spalding County.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 1935 Allison Court, where they met with the victim, Miss Michelle Carmela. I believe Miss Carmela may be on the line, but according to the warrant, she explained to the officer that her and her partner, where they reside at their location together, were having a verbal disagreement. He became upset with her due to infidelity within the relationship, at the point which he choked her with his hands. The state is going to be asking for a $2,000 surety bond, a no contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond, and enforcement assigned for the victim, Miss Michelle Carmelo.
Okay. All right. Is Ms. Carmelo on the line and wishes to make a statement?
Yes, I'm here.
Wait. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear in the following testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, put your hand down. What would you like to tell me?
I don't want I would still like contact, but we don't live at that address anymore and we're not together. But I don't want him to go to jail or anything, or no bond. I want him to have a bond or at least he can sign himself.
Okay. I appreciate you coming to court and making that statement. All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Ty, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 31 years old. He is the father of one minor child. He has lived in Georgia all his life. He is gainfully employed at the Atlanta airport. He does deny the allegations. As stated in the warrant, this incident occurred almost 2 years ago, Your Honor. The complaining witness has stated that she still would want contact with him and didn't want to press charges. I would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services or even through the jail. In this case, he has a hold in Spalding County. He tells me it's a traffic ticket, so he may be here for that anyway. So I would just ask for a signature bond, no violent contact, and I guess the incident location is irrelevant.
All right. Defendant's going to receive a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial services at level 1. He's to have no further violent contact with alleged victim. The stay away is moot. I never know how to say that. He's to have no alcohol, no drugs, or no weapons. That's a condition of that signature bond through pretrial. Is there anything additional?
Nothing further from the defendant.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case. Who do we have next?
Next, we have position number 16, Mr. Trimble.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Trimble. Your case is 24 CR 002685A. In this case, you're charged with battery family violence. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
First.
All right, Mr. Walker.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 9510 Martin Road, where they met with the victim, Mr. Alec Trimble. I believe that he resides at that location with his brother, who is the defendant. His brother became irate and became physical with him and his mother because he could not find a package. He began to scream at their mother. Their brother, who is the victim, stepped in between the two of them. At that point, he did punch and shove his brother. The officer did observe redness and swelling on Mr. Trimble's body. We have had contact with his brother. He believes that his brother suffers from MH conditions. So the state's going to be seeking a signature bond through pretrial services, a no contact with Mr. Alec Trimble, Stay away from the incident location, a BHET, and no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. It was time for the victim, Mr. Alec Trumbull.
All right, is Mr. Trumbull on the line and wishes to make a statement? All right, hearing, and I don't see anyone with that name. Mr.
Well,
Todd, please.
there is someone here with the name of Alec, but I'm not sure if he wants to talk.
Okay, is that the same spelling?
Yes.
I don't know why I thought you were
E-L-I-C.
saying Alec. Okay. Is Mr. Alec Trimble present? You are not required to make a statement, but if you wish to, this is your opportunity. Do you wish to make a statement, Mr. Trimble?
Are you?
If you do, you
Hello?
have to turn on your camera and raise your right hand so we can identify you and know who you are.
Let's see. Hey, are you able to hear me?
We have to see and hear you. We can hear
Okay.
you, but we
Okay.
need to be able to see.
Sorry, let me. Okay. Are we good?
We are good. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury?
I will.
All right, you can put your hand down. I'm going to ask some very specific questions. Well, not questions. I'm going to give you some instructions, okay? If you disagree with what Mr. Walker said, that's not what I'm concerned with today. What I'm specifically concerned with are any concerns you have for your safety and whether you wish to have contact with the defendant. If you want to tell me something sensitive about anything medical, that's not appropriate quite at this time. What would you like to tell me, Mr. Trimble?
I think the liability of having somebody in contact of children that come by the house and the workspace and the animals that are here and the unsureness of the mental health and everything.
No, don't tell me about that. Don't tell me about that. Do you have
Okay.
concerns for your safety? And do you
Oh,
wish to have
yes.
contact with your brother?
Yes, I do have concerns for my safety, and no, I do not wish to have contact.
Okay. Thank you. I do appreciate you making that statement. I'm sure there are other things you may want to flesh out. You'll have opportunities at a later date, all right? This is a misdemeanor bond hearing, and as he has committed an alleged misdemeanor offense, he is entitled to a bond today. I just wanted to explain why I was cutting you off. You hadn't had the opportunity to watch the
No,
whole
no, no.
proceeding. All right. All right. Mr. Ty, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. My client is 22 years old. He has lived in Georgia almost all his life. He is gainfully employed. I mean, not only does he deny the allegations, but just look at his face compared to his the complaining witness, who looks like he has no injuries at all. I mean, my client looks like he's been beat up. I'm really confused as to why he was the one arrested here. He does deny the allegations, states that the complaining witness was the first aggressor. He tells me that the complaining witness doesn't live at this address, 9510 Martin Road, but he lives in Tennessee and is just visiting. So I would object to a stay away. I don't want my client to not have a place to live. And again, it's his very first arrest. He's obviously been beat up. The brother, I didn't see any injuries. I don't know what the police officers who arrested him saw that we can't see here. We saw the complaining witness. I would ask for a signature bond through the jail. It's his very first arrest and no further conditions.
I am good. Mr. Trimble, one question. Can you verify whether or not you live at that address? Are you still there, Mr. Trimble? Reminding you you're under oath. You live at that address?
I currently am in between. I have a lot of work stuff here because I recently did move out. Yes, I did move out, but I have almost all my work stuff here, so I'm primarily in Georgia.
Okay. All right. Defendant is going to receive a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial services at level 1 per judge. He is to have no contact with the alleged victim in this case whatsoever. I won't order the stay away at this time. He is to have no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons as a condition of that signature bond through pretrial at level 1 per judge. Is there anything additional?
Nothing further.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case. All right. All right. Who do we have next?
Next we have. Oh, let me take them out. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do.
Is that the last? Okay, so are we not gonna have interpretation today, Miss Holly? I'm sorry, Miss Bridgewater? And what
Your Honor,
happened to position 7? Is there an announcement for position 7?
Positions.
Mr. Jawan Jackson?
He waived. I interviewed him, but he waived.
Oh, he's a waiver. Okay.
He waived his
Understood.
appearance, yeah.
Okay, understood.
and Your Honor, as far as that Spanish interpreter, I have not heard. One was requested and unfortunately, Mr. Jordan is in a meeting, so.
All right, so we're gonna have to reset till tomorrow, unfortunately. We cannot take the Spanish interpretation today. All
Excuse
right.
me, Judge, what type of interpreter we needed? Do you know?
Spanish. Is Lucia available?
Judge, Mr. Jordan is inquiring about the person who had the Persian case.
We did that one. We need a Spanish as well. Okay, it looks like we may have to reset the Spanish one. Is the courtroom clear so we're gonna go first into a breakout, as Mrs. Ty requested, to see what her concerns are for position 1, 24 CR 002693J. I'm not gonna sound this charge. Mr. Howard, will you put the history onto the record before we go into breakout?
04 battery DB dismissed.
That's it?
Yes.
All right. Can I be placed in a breakout room, please? It'll need. Mr. Ty, do you have a laptop by any chance? No.
I do have one, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you want to get in the breakout on your laptop?
Yes, I can do that. Just give me a minute.
All right. And at the meantime, I believe it'll be Mr. Graham, myself, Ms. Kim likely would like to come. Mr. Cook, if you would like to attend, you're welcome. Mr. Walker, I'm sure we'll need to attend as well.
I would like to attend.
All right.
Can we have ASG McCarthy included too?
We can.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Mr. Walker. Who?
The other ASG Tracy I can't pronounce her right. Her last
No,
name.
I got you, no problem.
Yes, thank you.
Judge, Mr. Jordan said the Spanish interpreter should be on about 3:10.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't do.
April, she sent everything to me. I don't know.
Melissa, mute.
Thank you.
Did you ever give that?
calling for Miss Fernandez.
All right, I heard this case. We can leave the recording live stream on. At this time, defendant will receive a $2,000 surety bond. He's to have no contact with Ms. Ferdinand. He's additionally to have no alcohol, no drugs, or no weapons as a condition. And I'm gonna sound one last time. Is Ms. Ferdinand present and wishes to make a statement?
It is.
Does the state wish to put anything onto the record? Does the defense wish to put anything onto the record?
No.
All right, hearing none, best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case at this time. Let's take up the wait. Oh, is we have interpretation yet?
No, ma'am.
Okay, let's take up the waive case 24 CR 002689C. Mr. Jawan Jackson, he's charged with obstruction. Mr. Howard, can we have Mr. Jackson's history?
He's been in custody since November. Let's see. You got ag assault upon what it says, officer of court while engaged in official duties. Felony obstruction, fleeing 23 CP 223248. On probation, criminal damage to property, second degree. That's
Okay.
22 SC 1813004.
That's okay, we're good. All right, Mr. Copy, please proceed.
This incident occurred around 2595 MLK Junior Drive Southwest in Atlanta. The officer attempted a traffic stop on a vehicle that had been involved in motor theft. The officer's blue lights and sirens were activated, but the vehicle did not stop. The officer requested assistance from Georgia State Patrol, and Georgia State Patrol began to pursue the vehicle and conducted a pit, which disabled the vehicle. The defendant then proceeded to exit the vehicle and flee on foot. Several officers chased him and he was caught and placed under arrest. During the chase, the defendant did throw a black object against a wall, and that object was determined to be a key programmer, which is a device used for car thefts. And the state is recommending a $2,500 signature bond, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol.
I'm inclined to grant that. Is it Mr. Cook or Mr. Ty? Is this your client, Mr. Cook? Position 7, Mr. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
I have no objection.
All right, defendant will receive a $2,500 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, weapons, alcohol. All right, we'll take up the next wave case that I believe is position 14, 24 CR 002680A, in which Jordan Outlaw is charged with obstruction and a charge I won't sound. Were you requesting a breakout for this as well, Mr. Tom?
I think we can get by with this one without mentioning anything that's gonna be delicate. I mean,
Okay, let's try.
I'll do my best. I'll be
No,
there.
please, I appreciate when you
I
do.
think I can do it.
Thank you, Mr.
So
Walker. All right,
essentially, law enforcement was executing,
wait,
well,
hold on. Are you gonna give us a history too, Mr. Walker?
He
I'm sorry.
can.
Mr. Howard, go ahead. I don't.
Mr. Howard, can we have a history?
43. He been
Oh,
in custody since the 12th of April.
that's why Mr. Walker was willing to let you do it. Okay.
Got an open criminal damage to property, 23 SC 186852. Open theft by taking in state court, 23 CR 001 868A. 2011 robbery conviction, probation violations from 2019, 2 FTAs from this year, a shoplifting from this year, and the FTA from last year.
Okay, that's not good.
So
That's
essentially, the defendant is a participant of a behavioral health program that requires him to wear an ankle monitor. Apparently, he was not complying with the program's rules, so a warrant was issued. The officer was there to execute the warrant. He saw the defendant leaving out of the apartment. When the defendant saw the officer, he ran back into the home, locked himself in a bathroom. They were able to retrieve him from the bathroom, and as they were arresting him to take him to the vehicle, he pulled his pants down. The state's asking for a signature bond to be released to his hold. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol were out on bond.
okay. And I'm assuming you don't have any objection to that, Mrs. Hyde?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
All right, wonderful. Defendant's gonna receive a $2,000 signature bond through the jail to his hold, 1,000 on each count. No weapons, drugs, alcohol as a condition. All right.
Wasn't too bad, was it?
No, it wasn't. That was a great job. All right. Are we still able to do the interpreter? Is courtroom one still on the line?
Well, he's here in courtroom 2 now, my brother.
Okay, that's fine. I don't know if she was supposed to be on a moment ago.
She's here, Judge.
Oh, there you are. Hi, Ms. Chancey. Please raise your right hand.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you swear that you'll make an accurate translation from English to Spanish, Spanish to English today, to the best of your skills, knowledge, and ability?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right. Can Ms. Kim go into a breakout with courtroom 2 and Ms. Chancey?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And we all will be on a very, very brief hold. All right, we are back with is courtroom 2 back? Can we turn on the camera at courtroom 2? All right, good afternoon. Mr. Jesus Hernandez Escobar, your case is 24 CR 00268-2E.
Buenas tardes, señor Jesús Fernández Escobar. El número de su caso es 24CR00268E.
In this case, you're charged with simple battery, family violence, with the offense date of May the 1st.
En este caso, usted tiene un cargo por golpes y lesiones, violencia familiar, ocurrido el 1 de mayo del 2024.
You have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say about the facts of your case can and will be used against you.
Usted tiene el derecho a guardar silencio. Todo lo que diga acerca de los hechos en su caso puede ser usado y será usado en su contra.
You have a right to an attorney, and Ms. Kim is present to assist you today.
Usted tiene el derecho a tener una abogada y la señorita Kim está aquí representándolo.
This proceeding is being conducted over the internet. That means members of the public can watch this.
Esta sesión se está presentando a través de la internet, lo que significa que cualquier miembro del público puede ingresar y observar.
It's also being recorded.
También se está grabando.
Do you understand your rights and how I'm conducting the hearing today?
¿Entiende usted sus derechos y cómo estoy conduciendo esta sesión hoy?
Sí, ¿y cómo hago para buscar a alguien, a una abogada?
Yes, and what do I need to do to find an attorney?
No, your attorney is here today to assist you. Ms. Kim
No.
is here to represent you.
Su abogada está aquí hoy para asistirlo. La señorita Kim está aquí para representarlo.
All right, do you understand now?
¿Entiende ahora?
Sí.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Howard, can I have the history?
Señor Howard, por favor, los antecedentes.
First,
Primera.
All right. Mr. Graham?
Señor Grant.
Thank you. This incident took place May 1st, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a domestic dispute at 414 Creekside Way in Roswell.
Este incidente ocurrió el 1 de mayo del 2024. La policía fue enviada al 441 Creekside Road.
Upon arrival, officers spoke with the caller, Lillian Gonzalez. She advised that an argument over money became physical when Jesus Hernandez Escobar pulled the hair of a minor, initials WG.
Yes.
Entonces, la señora Lilian González declaró que hubo una disputa sobre dinero que se volvió una pelea física en cuanto el acusado tiró el cabello de la menor WG.
The argument was about money being spent on a child that was not his.
Y la pelea se basaba en una discusión de gastar dinero en un hijo que no era de él.
The minor victim is 14 years old.
Y la víctima menor tiene 14 años.
Your Honor, our office has not been in touch with the victim or the caller.
Las oficiales no se han contactado con la víctima o la persona que hizo la llamada.
Based on the nature of the incident, we're requesting a $1,000 surety bond.
Basado en la naturaleza del incidente, pedimos una fianza de $1,000 bajo garantía.
1-day anger awareness, no further contact with minor WG, stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
No, not to go back to the location, sir?
Correct.
Thank you. La sentencia que se propone es tomar una clase de manejo de la ira, no tener más contacto con Wendy Hernández, ni tener tampoco contacto con la otra persona, la otra víctima, y queda prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas. I'm sorry, the interpreter needs to ask. No puede regresar a la localidad antes mencionada.
Okay. And I'm assuming we're not going to sound for that minor victim. So, and I don't see anybody on that line. All right, Miss Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 35 years old.
Mi cliente tiene 35 años, su señoría.
He came to Georgia about 2 years ago.
Y él vino a Georgia hace 2 años.
He's gainfully employed as a butcher store. He works as a butcher.
Él está empleado y trabaja como carnicero.
Your Honor, he says the complaining witness is actually his daughter.
En realidad, la que demandante es su hija.
And they live together with his ex-wife, Lilian Gonzalez.
Y viven juntos con su ex esposa, Lilian González.
So 3 of them live together, and he believes that his daughter and his ex-wives want him to come back home.
Los 3 viven juntos y él cree que su esposa y su ex esposa y su hija quieren que él regrese a su casa.
And Your Honor, he does not have any objection to stay away or no contact. However, he's the only one who provides them financially.
Su señoría, él no tiene problema de mantenerse alejado del lugar del incidente y de no tener más contacto con ella. Sin embargo, él es el único proveedor financiero.
So we request for signature on bond through jail and also no further violent contact.
Pedimos una fianza bajo firma a través de la cárcel y que no vuelva, que se le ordene no tener contacto violento con ellas.
Has either party spoken with the alleged victim's mother?
I texted, but I have not received any responses.
¿Hay alguien que haya contactado a una de las víctimas? Bueno, yo mandé un mensaje escrito, pero no he recibido respuesta.
And state has not been in contact with her either, Your Honor.
La fiscalía no ha tenido contacto con la víctima, su señoría.
All right, defendant will receive a $3,000 signature bond through the jail.
El acusado recibirá una fianza de $3,000 bajo fianza a través de la cárcel.
He is to have no contact with the alleged victim and stay away from that location.
No puede tener contacto con la víctima y se debe mantener distanciado del domicilio de la residencia.
And he is to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition.
Y como condición de su fianza, se queda prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas.
Your Honor, can he have a one-time law enforcement officer escorted visit to retrieve his personal belongings?
He can return one time with a member of law enforcement to retrieve his items.
Él puede regresar solo una sola vez con un miembro de la fuerza del orden para retirar sus pertenencias personales de la residencia.
All right. That concludes your case, sir. Best of luck to you.
Su caso ha concluido. Mucha suerte.
All right. And that concludes our entire calendar. Thank you, Ms. Chancellor. You can be
You're
excused.
welcome. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. All right. Bye-bye. Ms. Bridgewater, will you review the calendar for me?
Yes, ma'am. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be May 16th. Position number 1 is going on that SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. Position 2, SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Position number 3 is reset further notice with a total $2,500 SOB through the jail. 4 is reset to the SAP calendar with a total $1,500 good bond. That's $500 on each charge. However, charge number 4 is not on docket. Number 5 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. 6, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. 7, reset further notice with a $2,500 SOB through the jail. 8, reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through the jail. 9 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $3,000 good bond. 10 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 11 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position number 12 is reset further notice with a $3,000 total SOB through pretrial per judge with the co-signer.
And I'm sorry to interrupt, Ms. Bridgewater. I said a corrected name for that rental co-signer.
Oh, do you mind, because I'm sure we're gonna go off, we won't be on Zoom anymore, if you would email me
Okay,
as soon as possible, so
I'll
that
email
so to the judge.
thank you.
Or if you want to give me the spelling that nobody minds, so we can just keep it going. Who is the correct person?
Okay, it's the correct person, but the spelling is SHAQWETTA. And her last name is Bell, Bell.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Now 13 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 14 is reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through the jail. 15 is reset further notice with a $6,000 SOB through pretrial. And position 16 is reset further notice with a $4,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
4 was actually recommended, level 1. What was the bond amount for number 15?
I'm showing 15 was $6,000 SOB through pretrial.
Per judge, okay.
It should be per judge.
I think the judge said it.
I have that for 16. Is it
don't matter.
or 16?
Very confused. What was the question?
Position 15, he was asking, I have it as $6,000 SOB through pretrial. And he's under the impression it should be per judge. However, I have per judge on position number 16.
You could take the per judges off both of them, really. They both are recommended. So, to be honest.
Okay, and what was your complaint about position 4, Mr. Howard?
My complaint? Let's see.
Well, you said I did something.
I ain't said anything about number 4.
You mentioned something about 4, and I didn't get it.
You said something about 4, and that just threw the rest of my questions off. Okay.
I have 4 as charge number 4 was not on docket.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
1,500 good, right?
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah. My bad if I said something about number 4, because I don't know why I did.
I think you were displeased with how I rolled. All right.
Not at all. I wasn't displeased.
We will be in recess until tomorrow's SCA, and I will be here with you all. So take care. See all of you all tomorrow. Have a good evening. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Okay. Bye-bye.